Bam! Hello, everybody. Hello! Aprasoria, Ghostly, and Cryptid. Woo! Everybody's already in. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing on this holiday? High five. High five. Let's see. Wow, look at Wildlight, barely 3 minutes in, 3 viewers. What a big shot. I'm kind of a big deal now, apparently. Ah, yes, yeah. Aprasoria has to run after. It's going to be a shorter stream today, though, so it's probably only going to be about 2.5 hours or so because I got to prep for work tomorrow still. Hello, Princess. Cryptid, how are you? Ghostly, how are you? How is everybody? You have 5 viewers. You're famous. Hey, in my book, that is famous. All right. The fact that 5 people watch this at all. Oh yes, the command thing you set up. That's right. Yeah. I know we are working on trying to get like a hello command that Tort does, but I don't think we have that set up yet. Cryptid because Princess demands it. Princess is very demanding today. Very demanding. She has been in a mood, but when is she not? She just got things to say. Yeah, it's kind of like for people who've been here for a long time. We thought it would be really cool to have it kind of like when you come into chat, Tort gives you like a special hello, like for each person, kind of for the people who hang around a lot, pretty much. Which I do agree is very cool. Very, very cool. I'm just trying to remember what the questionable thing I said. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Aprasoria, I think, did add like, what was, yeah, that's right. I have to go be social. Doing okay. I hurt, but that's the weather. Okay, working on finishing revisions once and for all. You're almost there, Cryptid. You're almost there. Well, Ghostly's will need to be in all caps because that's just the standard. For Ghostly, that is the standard format, for sure. Yes, Aprasoria has to go be social. So everybody shame Aprasoria for seeing people in real life because we all know that the internet is more important. That's sarcasm. That is not true. In real life, people are very, very, very important. That's thank you, Aprasoria. That's what it was. I love toxic relationships. I love great, yay, fantastic. Oof, that is exhaustive. I've planned something chill after. Yeah. I'm trying to this evening after we get done streaming. I'm gonna try to relax because it's been kind of a wild weekend, so I need to and I need to prep for. I have to be up. I think at like 5 in the morning tomorrow. I think I'm doing Mexico now. I think I'm running streams out of Mexico, I think. Yes. I hope you start to feel better though, Crypta. I know you've just been going through the ringer. Like every time it's just oof. And you're getting you're trying to get creative. I'm such a baby getting like creative work done when I don't feel good. So hats off to you, Cryptid. I am a complete baby. If I'm not feeling good, I'll just find any excuse not to like actually get words done. So, hats off to you for even trying to get it done. Let's see here. Oof, that's but yes. It kind of is. There it is. Honestly, same. Honestly, same though. Gestures to my pile of manuscripts. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Ew. If the relationship is not a complex mess, I do not write it. I mean, yes, in the drama world, they could be fun to write. I don't recommend them in real life. Oftentimes, in real life, the relationships are already messy enough. We don't need to start adding them to make them extraordinarily toxic on top of just the interpersonal mess that is two human beings trying to work through their shit together. That's the plan. Hopefully not. I may be kept out somewhat late. I hope you have a good time, Opresorio. I think you will. I was doing better. Oh, no, and then you got hit with a migraine yesterday, so I'm trying to get back to the words today. Well, hopefully some words will be done, and we will get, hopefully some words will get done. But also, like, you know, be kind to yourself. Don't push yourself. It's, you know, we all battle different demons, so you got to be, like, aware and kind to whatever you're dealing with, and incorporate that into what you expect you can get done. Because if I don't do that, I spiral, and then I get nothing done. So, but I think you can get a little bit done, Cryptid. I have hope. How is Wilight, the token screenwriter streamer friend? I guess I am kind of the token one. There's only a couple of us. I'm doing all right. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty tired. There was a point where I was like, do I want to stream today? But because I'm not going to be able to stream till Thursday and Friday, I really wanted to get at least a stream in and kind of get back into the crime clowns thing a little bit. But I'm pretty sleepy, so hopefully I'll wake up in the process of the stream. Bum bum bum. No migraine today, just just join ouch. Okay, my neck keeps cracking hard enough to make my ears ring. Good lord, Cryptid. Ow. Ow. Ugh. That's no bueno. That's not good. I might get one during stream, but you have your meds next to you if you need them. Okay, well, ugh. I don't know if they just happen to you now, or if there's anything you can do to maybe, like, help make that not happen. I don't know if you have triggers. I know some people that get migraines, they can have triggers. Demons, ongoing bother or potato. I know, Cryptid. I feel like at some point, Cryptid, you could probably give Cronenberg a run for his money with body horror. With given all the stuff you have to go through, I feel like you would 100% be able to do some solid body horror. Ghostly managed to write yesterday. Yes, Ghostly, yes. And it all deleted itself? Oh no, what? So Ghostly is still scrapping together to will to live, joking. Oh no. Oh no. Ghostly, what happened? Did the file just not save? On the computer or did Google pull some shenanigans? How did that happen? That is like, I mean, I've lost full, I think I have lost like 15, 20 pages before writing scripts back when I was a kid, but like everything nowadays, it seems like autosaves. Like generally most things tend to save pretty consistently to avoid that, but that is heartbreaking, Ghostly. I am sorry. That is rough. Opresoria late, like after 10 p.m., the agony. Oh no. I'm sorry. Oh, no. I'm fine, Ghostly. Don't worry. It's not like last week where I was like a zombie. I think I'm still recovering from how last week went. And I don't know if, like, I took yesterday off, which was nice, but, like, I think I'm just still kind of in a weird kind of recovery, still not totally sleeping well phase. Barometric pressure. Okay, gotcha. Yep, make brain go stabby. Okay, so you have no control over that at that point. That's just the weather. I plan to. Witchpunks 2 is going to be a time. I have plans. Excellent, Cryptid. Perfect. Ghostly, my beloved, did you break the Matrix again? It wasn't a lot, but my words for the days just died. Microsoft Word. That is awful. What? That doesn't make sense. Microsoft Word, come on. Even older versions of Microsoft Word shouldn't be doing that shit. I mean, maybe like losing a sentence or two, but that's where you go just burn Microsoft Word to the ground. Holy cow. Now that's the pumpkin hours. Yeah, 10 p.m. That's you know, we don't like staying out late anymore. We're old. I'm now jaded towards that story, so I'm not touching it now because I have trust issues. I mean, fair enough, Ghostly. Like, when you feel betrayed like that, that's kind of, yeah, maybe take a break. There's no shame in that. I would have trust issues too. I would have trust. There was a period with Pawn Boys, actually, with Scrivener, that I was having issues where the file started corrupting, and it's a good thing that they have an autosave backlog, because I think that was one of the days I wrote like 10, 15 pages, and I had a moment where I was like, did I just lose that? Did I just lose that many pages? Because you get so used to not saving, because it's all auto-saved, auto-updated. Oh, really, Cryptid? Do you know a way to, like, recover off of Microsoft Word? I feel like there should be, like, auto-saves going on in the background. That just seems like something that should happen. Yeah, it should have saved a backup. Yeah, you should be able to find it if you dig. Yeah, you just never know what the folder is, where it's... Because sometimes they put backups in weird places. It was about 400 words. I ran out of I ran out of backup storage because, you know, writing for 1,300 days, it's gone. Really? So you don't... The computer just doesn't have backup space anymore? Interesting. I mean, writing for 1,300 days will actually start to... Shockingly, but... I didn't know you could fill up I didn't think it would let you do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... Ghostly, I think you've just discovered a thing that none of us knew. I had no idea. I had no idea that that was even possible. Yeah, I'd have to pay more money. Oh, but it doesn't have a local download on your computer? It's not backing up at all in like a program file on your computer? Not just in the cloud, but it should have like a backup file on the computer. I mean, Google, if you're writing on Google Docs, I know that that's all online, so that would be different. But I think if you have the program installed on your computer, I'm pretty sure there's backup save files that it puts in the program file. If you can, I would check, because there might be. Unless things are different nowadays. I don't know, but there usually is. Let's just say I have 4 separate documents for insults, and it's 160,000 words. I mean, that's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but that's not a ton of space. Yeah, you should have a storage file in your desktop that backs it up. I don't know if that's different for 365. That's true. I don't know about... I might attempt, but I am not tech savvy. Yeah, that's... I mean, I'm assuming you're on a Windows machine. Hold on. Old Windows? How old? 7? Like Windows 7? Remember, Ghostly, when you say old Windows, you're talking to people that probably have been using Windows. Like when someone says, oh, okay, that's not okay. Yeah, that's not even, that's like Windows 10. Probably. What was 2019 Windows? That would be 10, right? Wouldn't that be 10? Still? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's 10. Yeah, I figured. I mean, if you need to know, Ghostly, I was using Windows 7 for years. And like, if you want to talk about my OG, like the Windows that I refused to leave because I loved it so much, it was Windows XP. I loved Windows XP. And I remember when Windows Vista came out, I was very mad, and it was terrible and bulky. And I was very upset with it. But I had Windows XP for probably way too long, way past the time it functioned well. The first time I ever opened Microsoft Word was 2019. Got it. Okay, Windows XP was a triumph. Vista and ME were ME was brutal. I mean, I think probably the best like old school version of Windows. Like if you're looking at old Windows like 98. Windows 98 was like, I mean, that I grew up on Windows 98. I think I briefly used Windows 95, but I was gonna say 98 was the one I grew up on, and that was probably, I don't know, it might be nostalgia talking, but that was like the Windows version. Like that's where I played all my games and all that kind of stuff. But Windows XP was the one I used through high school. I think that's why I'm always, and I used it well into college. I think I got a laptop with Windows Vista when I went to college, but for the most part, my home computer, my desktop that I had in my dorm, was still my old Windows XP unit. Let's see. The first time it was 2019, and then I didn't use it for multiple years. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I was about to say Microsoft Word is capable of keeping track of document changes, but I'm not sure if that opt-in by default, since usually businesses are the only ones that are using it. Yeah. It seems like they do want the autosave feature to go to the iCloud storage by default, the path, but if you're to find the file, you can go to your OneDrive account and navigate to the documents folder. You should be able to find it there. Now that might be interesting. That might, if Microsoft no longer, I mean, that's evil. And also sounds like a very Microsoft thing to do, to try to bully you into paying for more cloud storage. If it's no longer defaulting it into... So, okay, so it goes to OneDrive cloud storage by default. Okay, but what about... Does it save a localized file? I'm trying to, like, read through this thing as well. Answers on Microsoft. Let's see here. Microsoft Word... Blah, blah, blah. I have accepted my loss. I'm going to call it character building. Oh, no, Ghostly. But then, maybe there's a way to get it back. I mean, there might not be. Neither of us are that familiar with it, but... Still enough to run Tomb Raider. Exactly, Cryptid. Yep. Like old Windows. Okay, next time, give a yell at me, and you can at me in Discord, and I can give you a hand. Not my first rodeo. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you need help with that, Ghostly, feel free to call it out in, like, the resources, or maybe I can make a help channel on the Discord. Because sometimes that's really evil if it doesn't autosave on the local drive. I find that concerning. Particularly because Word documents don't take up a lot of space, so it's almost never going to be the thing that's going to make your computer run out of space. That seems really evil. That seems very evil to me. My 2013 Word doesn't do that, but it's ancient, obviously. Yeah, that I ran out of that. Yeah, your OneDrive stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to see if it's out of space on the OneDrive thing. Was an old standard thing to have autosaves go onto your drive as well. Like a backup going to the cloud is fine, but usually they have backup saves in case your program crashes, and that's what it feels weird. It all feels weird to me that they would, if you're out of space, that it would just be like, well, your backups don't work anymore. I have no more. Yeah, no, it doesn't. Some system files are kept local. Some program files, like binary type files, exist locally too. But almost everything user. Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, so what you're gonna do, Ghostly, is get a thumb drive, yes, and empty some of your old files onto the OneDrive on that. Yeah. If it's blocking your autosave, that is dark. That is dark. Like, why would you do that? I'm old school. I back up everything periodically onto an external hard drive. Yeah, I do that too. I have because everything's mostly on Apple. I have everything's cloud backed up and synced on all three computers at any given time. So if a computer fails, it's always on one of the other computers, and then I also have them backed up onto at my actual physical drives, my edit drives over here. And that's like all my writing, because I need that because I have terabytes and terabytes of footage that I have to keep backed up, that I can only get rid of after 3 years, because technically you're required to hold on to footage that you do for clients for like 3 years, which sucks. Yes, Opera also would be one of the best ones to ask about this stuff too, because Opera knows these systems in and out. I'm old school and I back up everything periodically. Yep, but thank you, Opera, you technical genius wizard. Yep, definitely. Same, Wildlight, I hate this. Wildlight, they want money. I have done that 3 times. I have accepted I am doomed. No! Oof. The capitalist nightmare. It's It's evil. I mean, I did have someone who lost a bunch of their stuff because a flash drive went bad. So it's just backups upon backups, redundancies, man. Backups upon backups upon backups. Is all it's all you can really do. And even then sometimes, I mean, I know that this isn't easy for everybody and this might be very old school, but there is a reason why I print. I still print. And I have boxes where I do have copies of old writing that I have printed out just in case. If I ever lose the digital files, I will always have at least some physical version of it that I can go back to. And even if there's no like edit it, like I can't edit it, I still have it so I can reference it. But that's just me, and I understand that like, you know, it's papers and all that stuff, and you know, it takes up storage space. But I'm a bit paranoid about that. Ghostly loves flash drives, but they can't save me. Well, I should say it's a bit like a hybrid setup. There may be a local copy in the OneDrive version of the documents folder. Files that are used... Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't just default to saving on the local drive if it's out of space on the cloud. It's just weird that it would just not work. That the autosave feature functionally just doesn't work if the cloud is... Like, it's fine if it defaults to that, but to just not even have, like, a redundancy to that, or to then save on the local disk is bizarre. I mean, it's Microsoft, so I shouldn't say it's surprising. It's still just evil. Files that are used regularly often do have some kind of local copy, but it's susceptible to offloading, where the OS can decide to send that copy to the cloud exclusively. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Opera Soria. You're brilliant. Yeah. This is Opera Soria's specialty. This is why Opera Soria is amassing channel points to make me read code on stream, which is the cruelest thing anyone could ever do. Because like I'm gonna have no idea what I'm saying. It'll all be there for Opera Soria's amusement. I have a Western Digital passport, but when I need something quick, I have a 256 gig flash drive. Yeah. I think I just get crazy about the redundancies, literally because I do so much film production, and so we have to have and that takes up a ton of space, terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of space. So I'm always having to do 2 to 3 backup copies plus online copies and proxies all over the place, because you know, when people are paying you a lot of money for that stuff, you cannot have footage failures. It is puts you in a very bad spot. It's weird. I don't mind system, but I do generate my own local copies into the local versions of directories for safety. You can do that manually, set up a PowerShell script to do that automatically. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Opera Soria has already ascended my computer knowledge. Ghostly once deleted her entire fiction writing doc. Ghostly went to some shady corners of the internet to get that back. I mean, if anything is to send you to the dark web, Ghostly, it is to just get your fiction back. I think that's fine. And before you ask why I have such a thing, the answer is I have friends who work at office supply stores and are very good at nabbing things. Oh, there you go. Nice. Yeah. I too worked IT at Geek Squad at one point in my life. I do know that life well. Oh my God, Ghostly, honey, glad you got it back. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. The only thing that survived the accidental purge was the fantasy road trip. Oh man. Well, I'm glad the fantasy road trip survived, but that's still rough, Ghostly. That's still brutal. That is, I'm sorry. I do this a lot, LOL. You do that. Yes, that is what you do, Opera Soria. You're gonna be essential coming into the AI war. 100% that is true. Yes. Opera Soria is going to be the general leading the charge in the AI war, because Opera Soria understands it better than I do, or most people I know. Yeah, it was about 2 years worth of writing all of it. That's heartbreaking, Ghostly. Ghostly has never in her life suffered like that. Yeah. I mean, that's rough. That's the kind of thing that makes you. That's a little soul shattering. That's really soul shattering. I mean, that now, you know what, Ghostly, this is all starting to make a little bit more sense where this sort of like titan of writing you've become comes from. It comes this deeply traumatic. You lost that writing, and you're just like, nope. Now I will do nothing but write forever and save it all. Um, yeah, this is you laughing back at the abyss. So well done. Yeah, always remember that you will have more ideas and better ideas. So sometimes when you feel like you've lost a thing, it hurts, but it's not the end of the world. It's very sometimes we get so focused on things we think it's like our only good idea or the one good idea we have, and that's not always the case. Sometimes you can be hampered by an idea more than anything, where it may not be the best idea or the best thing for you to pursue, but you still kind of end up um, obsessing over it. LO, I would make myself essential to whichever side is winning. Well done, Opera Soria. Yes, you play it well. Um, yeah, this is a demon summoning hours. Yep. Ghostly did not get all about. I cared on mostly forgotten things. Well, thank you. I'm a broken creature. Ghostly, aren't we all? Moon Runes, welcome in. Hello. Welcome. How are you, Moon Runes? How was your weekend? Holiday weekend. Hopefully it was well. Oh, you have? Oh, snap. Oh, I'm so excited, Moon Runes. I have finished the drawing. Excellent. Oh my god, 6 hours, Moon Runes? Holy crap. Okay, I'm very excited. I am thrilled. I cannot wait to see it. That is so exciting. so exciting. Yeah. Can't we see? Do you want the DM or the art? You can put it in the art channel. I don't mind if you don't mind sharing it. I don't mind people seeing it. Let me get my. I mean, it would be funny to just hoard it all for myself. It's all for me. It'd be like Golem. But no, yeah, put it in the art channel. Share it with the world. I'm very excited. I know Moon Runes has been working on this forever, so I am very. Oh shit! Oh. Oh, that is fucking incredible. Oh, Jesus, Moon Runes. That looks so good. Ah, Liz, thank you. Liz. And Princess just came to shout. Yes. Princess is thanking Liz. Oh, this is gorgeous, Moon Runes. And Princess is here to shout and share her pleasure. This is amazing. Oh my god. Moon Runes, thank you so much. This is gorgeous. I'm gonna have to print this out. I'm gonna have to get this print on like artboard and frame it. This is incredible. Ugh. That's so awesome. Oh, Moon Runes. Thank you so much. Yeah, it is stunning. God, the shading. I mean, your line work has always been incredible, but the shading is so good, particularly on the skull. And the double-eyed, the four-eyed. It's so good. Bum. Thank you, High Princess. No problem. Yeah. Thank you. That is gorgeous. My goodness, you're insane. That's insane. Mind blown. Yeah, this is. It's so cool. Oh my god, I love it. Ugh. I mean, I love Raven, so this is beautiful. It's everything I wanted. Everything I wanted when you asked, Moon Runes. Nailed it. Oh, and I like the locket too. Amazing. Yes. All right, I'm gonna save this. Ooh, perfect time for a holiday weekend. I just checked it. Yes, Liz. It's crazy. It is crazy. Moon Runes was doing a cool like little art pieces as gifts, and this is what Moon Runes made for me and for the channel. So this is definitely going to be a hallmark for the channel. So thank you so much, Moon Runes. Absolutely stunning. Love it. All right, let me bring this down. All right. Well, I think today... Yeah, this is nuts. Yep. All right. So today the plan is we're going to be going over Crime Clowns. So we're going to do sprints. But if you want... thank you, Opera Soria. Yeah, we get art and Crime Clowns, so we're spoiled. Yeah, so there will be some talking during the sprints. So I figure, if you want to, if you're working on your own thing and need to focus and stuff like that, just feel free to mute. The timer will be up, and all that. It's just because I might be talking to back and forth with chat a little bit during the kind of breakdown process, just answering questions and kind of just kind of pseudo describing my process. So, but that is the day. So yeah, I am going to be taking Ghostly's short film here that Ghostly wrote, and we're going to be I'm going to be breaking it down into essentially a shooting script before I go and try to storyboard it, which we'll do. We'll see if I can get done with doing a like a sort of shot pass on the script, and then we'll try to see if we can get to storyboarding on Thursday. That's going to be kind of the thing for Thursday. Is I want Thursday and Friday to be storyboarding, because it'll probably take both days to storyboard. But the goal today is going to be to finish breaking the script down today. So, but yeah. So for anyone out there who's actually trying to get words done, feel free to mute, so you don't hear my voice distracting you, me babbling. Oh, and before we get started, since I think we are currently in ads, highly recommend Furiosa. Went to go see it last night. I don't know how many people in here are Mad Max fans. I love those movies. I grew up on those movies, and Furiosa is a absolutely stunning, epic film, and actually tonally still in the Mad Max universe, but very different than it's not trying to be Fury Road, which I really appreciate. It's much more of like a broad, kind of like sprawling epic that follows Furiosa's entire life. So, highly recommend. It's not doing well at the box office, which is too bad, because George Miller movies they're a little niche for people, but I'm hoping it'll pick up and do a little bit better, because I would like the guy is like 80 years old and making the best action films ever made right now. He's like Ridley Scott in that way, so I just kind of like, I'm hoping that, he has one more in him, hopefully, before he retires, but he is getting up there in years. It was great. You're good. I'll just probably have the same song on repeat for the whole sprint, because that's how we hyperfocus. It's actually funny, Cryptid. So one of the problems I have writing on stream is because when I write to music, and sometimes I have a very specific song, I replay the song a million times, and I figure that would just annoy the hell out of everybody on stream. But I do that too. That's a thing I do. So I'm going to work on revisions. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Revisions for your sequel tonight. I haven't touched anything in like a month, so it's long overdue. That's a good, like, waiting time, though. I feel like that's a good, like, wait. Ad break is over. Oh, perfect. That is my fear while streaming. I'll have music for chat, music for me. Yeah, that's true too. Yep, that's true too. All right, everybody. We are going to start on our sprints, so feel free to get those words done. And if you're writing words, I hope it is a productive sprint with plenty of progress. There we go, and away we go. All right. I think we're good, right? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, let me reacquaint myself here with this. Okay. Interior, decrepit apartment night. The apartment is dark, light filters from the single window, sickly yellow street lamp just outside. Wider. The frame of a fig. Yeah, that's right. Okay. That's right, because we're thinking about it like having the dolly pull back. Okay. The frame of the figure sitting in the chair motionless. Their labored breathing outside. Another figure matches emerges, unlocking the window and sliding it open. Technically, Ghostly is still a holiday, so you can take a day off. That's true. It is still technically a holiday. The figure loose shifts her weight, struggling. She's tied up. Matches creeps toward Luce in the chair, whistling. Shoes squelching on something mysteriously wet. Yep. Alright, let's click. Blinded by a single hideous incandescent bulb. So that'll be our close-up. Matches taking a drag. It's character description. Matches. Oh, right. Okay. Taking a drag of the cigarette, mid-20s, a size too big, dusty suit, and faded mind makeup. A dry everyman, yet too hard to pin down. He blows a puff of smoke, looking down at Luce. Is tied to the chair beneath a single dingly bubble. Okay. Okay. So this is mostly like a shot or reverse shot. Alright, so... do close-up Luce. Matches taking drag, size 2, looking down at close-up Luce. So essentially this will be our reverse shot. So it'll probably be like a, not directly on his POV, but from his perspective, looking down at Luce. Alright, so we need... Alright, so matches, turns, and walks to the broken cupboard. In the kitchen. Retrieves a lone jar of peanut butter. So the way that this gets broken down is essentially you have to think of shots as you're breaking down a script as layered. So you have, we have our master shot here. So your master is kind of, sometimes a master shot is referred to as a shot that is just like the blandest version of it would be you just put the camera in a corner and film the whole scene from that point of view. So the whole scene goes down, you have a master. That's not usually how anyone does masters anymore. It comes from like old Hollywood where if you watch like older Hollywood movies, you'll notice the blocking and the staging is all kind of designed, and the camera moves are all kind of designed to limit how many different shots and angles they have to do. Like essentially they're trying to cover the scene. So a master is kind of your main shot. It's going to be the shot that you're going to, when you punch in for close-ups and other angles, that you're going to try to match to performance and or blocking wise for like editing continuity and all that. So, oh, you do not want me talking about this, do you? So mad at me. Oh my god. I know. So the way that we would break this down, and I'll do this when you'll see the way I kind of draw lines on the script when I start storyboarding it. But I would like make a line from the top here all the way down to when he's gonna walk over to the like all the way down to probably when he turns to Watt, because I want the out action. Now that doesn't necessarily mean exactly how it's gonna show up, but it means that I want to shoot coverage from a very particular angle. Is kind of how it breaks down. My cat's ears are pretty looking for Princess. I know she's getting very, very vocal. So to kind of ground the camera to the scene, yeah, a little bit. It's mostly it's a way of just getting coverage, and not everybody shoots masters. It's not a universal thing, but usually you want like your primary shot. That then, so a good example of this, if you ever seen Jaws, when Chief Brody's in the room talking to the other cop, and he like does the famous pulls the cigarette out of the guy's mouth. Um, that would be considered like a master shot. It's essentially you're letting the whole scene play out from one angle, and then Spielberg would just shoot one insert where it's the reverse, where he grabs the cigarette out. It's that, but you do that for no matter like even like complex scenes. You just get that one shot, and then you kind of start constructing it around it. Now it's not always the case, but that's how we're going to treat this because we're shooting this opening scene from this one perspective that's pulling us away from the window into the room, where then we're framed by Luce in the chair, but we don't know it's Luce yet. And then in that kind of L-shaped frame that's going to be on the left side of frame, we get Matches coming into the window, walking up, clicking on the light. We do that, so that's kind of our main scene. And then what we're gonna do is we tilt up to Matches, and then that'll be the master, and the Matches is gonna walk out of the shot, and then we end the shot there. Then what we do is we go and get a close-up of Luce during that shot from the reverse side. So you kind of have to think about the way that you have to think about directing or breaking down a film into shots is you're just taking the whole scene and breaking it down into a series of pictures, and then trying to make those pictures work together, almost like a collage. So you're doing various things in that way. So you're kind of breaking it down into unique, isolated elements, trying to construct. And then when you're trying to like a flip book, or like a comic in a way, like a flip book or a comic. And then what you're trying to do is create, when you put those pictures together, depending on where you put the camera, what the angle the camera's at, is the perspective it's tied to, is the texture of it. Are you trying to do a direct formal framing to try to be like, this is a power dynamic, this is an emotional, like, what is the emotional feel behind that angle of that shot? If that's what you're going for. Sometimes it's more of you're looking for a visceral, almost like textual relationship to the way the camera's doing things. So like an action film or a Michael Bay film might not necessarily be like, this needs to show power and not power, or like power or vulnerability in a shot. This might be, this shot only works if you put it with these other types of shots together to create a sort of visceral feeling. So you need to be able to like think about it in that way. That's very complicated for what we're doing, but that's kind of like what you're doing, essentially. Yes, you're building a sort of flip book of images that you're then going to break it into sections, and then how do you need to make sure that you have heads and tails on each side of the shot, so that continuity, editing wise, maybe you don't know it needs a beat and you need to add a beat in editing for pacing, things like that. So you kind of, there's a few things you kind of want to try to keep track of when you're breaking down a script and how you're going to shoot it, because you're also shooting it artistically, but also you need to think about it practically in terms of how you're executing it on a set. Oh, Crypto, you're in the library tonight. Awesome. Tusky Skull, but she hates my workstation. Library is very cozy. All right, so Matches turns and walks to the cupboard of the kitchen. So this will be, if we're coming this way up, if the kitchen's to the right, it depends if we want to have him walk out, but what we'll do is we'll set here for a medium shot. Do you have any shot styles you prefer to avoid? That's a good question. That's a very good question. Do I have any shot styles I prefer to avoid? I mean, I definitely I don't like the overuse of I don't like shaky camera unless it's for very explicit purposes. So I don't mind handheld, but explicit like shaky cam stuff, I'm generally like, it's very hard for me to find a motivation to have it be that shaky, because usually I just feel like it makes you nauseous. Um, and the image, unless you're trying to like really distort what's happening, it doesn't. I don't feel like it adds much. I feel like you could do disorientation in different ways that are less in like less troublesome in that way. Blair Witch is one of the few exceptions because of what it's trying to do. I would not I could not stand anything that Blair Witch is doing in like a movie where it's not designed to be a documentary. It's not designed to be a documentary. Like Blair Witch was designed explicitly like people were trying to make a documentary and documenting things into the woods, and things go awry and they're documenting their awry. Like that has other narrative problems, which is the at what point can you justifiably believe these people wouldn't just shut the camera off and run away? That's a different problem. But the shaky camera, if you actually notice, in Blair Witch, it's actually not that bad. If you look at movies that came later, Blair Witch is actually pretty clean. Like, particularly when they're shooting on 16, not so much the video camera, but they're on the 16 millimeter camera. It's not bad. It's really not that shaky. And you can actually see some things. Like, you can actually see, and they had to do that because of the trees. So you can't just shake a camera around because there's so many lines in the trees, it's too easy to blur. So if you actually notice, like if you watch Blair Witch again, they're not super fast with the way that they move it. It gets a lot worse later on. Yeah, shaky cam is rough. Handheld in general makes me nauseous. Yeah, on a big screen, and that's true with Blair Witch. Blair Witch did make people sick on the big screen, and I'm just not a fan of it. I don't think it achieves whatever purpose you're trying to do it. Like you're trying to disorient an audience and make them feel frantic and like ungrounded, and there are other ways to do that visually than just shaking the camera around. The times that I really hate it are like when it's not a documentary style film or a mockumentary style film, where it's just they just do that in the narrative, where you are a sort of like the perspective of the film is a narrative film. The lens is a revolving third-party viewer of the events that are taking place. The camera is invisible, so to speak, is where I don't like the shaky cam stuff. And I think that I grew up in a period where a lot of horror movies were doing that, so that might just be my reaction to that particular period. You probably will notice I don't tend to shoot. This isn't a shot type, Liz, but it is a visual preference. Is I very rarely shoot on a 50, and if people always call it the nifty 50. A 50 millimeter lens is generally what is considered like the eye standard perspective. It's the portrait lens. It's the lens that for most cinematic movies you see were probably shot generally using a 50 millimeter lens. Like one of my favorite directors, Ozu, like only ever shot on a 50. He never shot any other lens focal length. I tend to not shoot on 50s. Because I very rarely will I shoot on a 50. I'll generally prefer going wider, to like a 24 or 35. You'll see, if you need like a visual example of that, like the Coen brothers tend to shoot a little wider. Gilliam goes full fisheye. Kubrick, if you watch Kubrick movies, Kubrick very rarely shot on a 50. He generally went wider or longer. That's just a preference thing. I tend to I like that I'm watching a movie and not necessarily trying to like capture real life, and I feel like the attachment to the 50 millimeter lens comes out of photography, because so many DPs and directors came out of photography, and 50 millimeter lens was like the stain. You buy an old camera, it has a 50 millimeter lens on it. That's like your go-to standard lens. It's the most naturalistic, I guess. That's the way to put it. It's the most naturalistic lens. Now, I've been on films where, like my buddy's film that I DP'd, I tried to push that because I tend to prefer either longer lenses or wider lenses, and we ended up having to go under the 50 because one, we were shooting anamorphic, and two, he wanted the look of a 50. We will always, if you're trying to make it look like movies you've seen, you will almost always default back to a 50. It's just the way it is. I prefer kind of moving a little bit beyond that. I think wider lenses make faces more emotive, so they channel a more emotional Ghostly, you artsy little hipster. It's true. Not wrong, but I think wider lenses tend to accentuate the face in emotive ways, so they're better, in my opinion, at capturing emotion. Now, that also is balanced with, as long as you don't have someone who's overacting. If you have someone who's overacting, it's bad. But no lens choice is going to save you from someone being too big on camera. That's the sound of the police. It's the police or the fire department. I live down the road is a fire station, so it might be the fire department. All right. I don't know. I'm gonna keep thinking about that because I don't really have. I've used a lot of things. Like I don't generally like Dutching, doing a Dutch camera, unless it's a motion. A motion that then I lean into. So I might Dutch a scene or two, or I might roll a camera into a Dutch in motion, like on a dolly, but I'm probably not gonna shoot a whole scene Dutched. That's just me. Watch out, Wylet. These residents are getting evil. Yeah, I'm in the my backyard is a cemetery, so if the residents are getting evil, I'm screwed. Like I'm literally in prime territory to be offed by zombies. You know, it's the risk I run for trying to be someplace that's for the most part relatively quiet in Los Angeles. All right. Anyway, back to it. So yeah, so we're gonna go to a medium shot here when he goes to the kitchen. Matches, turns, and walks to the broken cupboard in the kitchen. Retrieves a lone jar of peanut butter. Muffles complaints. So this will be a different media matches. Flicks open a switchblade. Okay. We'll probably just have loose be a reverse of that. I kind of want... Oh, thank you. Hydrate! Everybody hydrate. Drink. It's a lot of hydrating you got going on there. I mean, that actually works because I'm talking a lot this stream. I look thirsty. I mean, I am kind of thirsty. I've been drinking a lot of tea. All right. All right, so we'll probably just do a reverse on loose. So essentially at this point you're just looking at camera reversals based on where the character's at. And I think, but I think I remember saying I kind of wanted this to be from Loose's perspective a little bit. Like that have loose, at least loose, where loose is ground, kind of where the camera's at. And then the motion is dictated by matches, but loose kind of operates as our hub that the camera moves around. So this would be matches, flicks open the switchblade, he crouches down in front of her and licks the peanut butter off the knife. So this would be him. This would be him walking up and he'll be walking up into a close-up. What work could this be? This is a short film that Ghostly wrote, based on one of her prose stories. So she wrote it as a screenplay. And then I figured we would take it and I'd kind of walk through the process of breaking it down into a shooting script and then storyboarding it and then possibly, try to make it. try to actually make it for the channel and maybe live stream the actual production, because it happens to be very simple. It you know, 2 people, 1 room, which is what they always tell you to do when you're trying to do short films. So that is what we are currently working on right now. Oh, my Shasa, the work of the Ghostly. Yep, it is a Ghostly script. It is a first Ghostly script, in fact. So in this shot, it'll be medium. We'll probably do a medium from loose, and then walks into close up. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can answer this, because actually now that we have him walking into a close up. So if you want to know, Liz, I mean, that's what I'm going to try to do. It's been a goal of mine, Liz, to do, like, to go from, like, script writing to pre-production, breaking it down, and then live streaming, like, the actual production day. Obviously, you can't live stream the sound, because you have no idea what people are saying on a set, and you don't want to, like, TOS everything. But, like, you know, like a spy cam, just, like, show you the actual process of, like, the day-to-day of, like, making a movie. And then just, like, live stream that, and then do the editing and all that stuff on stream, just to kind of have a whole, like, a cohesive process behind it, in a very small sense. So that's that was, and I thought it was, once Ghostly wrote a script that worked really well and kind of hit those things, it was like, have it be from someone in the community. I think that's cool. To, like, be like, oh yeah, everybody contributed and then made a short film on the channel. I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, yep. But oh yeah, that was the thing. So there is a type of shot that I don't like a lot, and you'll very rarely use it. I don't like over the shoulder shots. That is a shot that I actually will most of the time completely and utterly resist, unless I absolutely have to. But I don't generally do over the shoulders. Hi, princess. Hi. Hello. Hello. Yes, I know. She wants attention. He crouches down in front of her and licks peanut butter off the edge of the knife. So yeah, so we're going to have him. So the shot will be from where Luce is sitting. He'll walk over and then kind of kneel down. And that'll get us, like, he's just going to essentially walk into the shot. He's going to walk from a medium into a close-up. And then as he's licking the edge off the knife. So that'll be a nice little dynamic scene, but it'll be from Luce's sort of perspective. And then he says, want some? Luce muffles annoyingly, pulls back away from him. So yourself, Luce. He pulls down her gag. Time to make a movie that has a single over-the-shoulder shot, no cuts. I mean, I actually really like... I actually like single shots. It would be very hard to do a single shot over the shoulder shot. Actually, that kind of in a way is just what do they call it? Third party, like a third party, like a lot of shooter games where they just sit at the side and you're just tracking with them. That's kind of what that is, like in a video game. That's almost like a video game perspective, a little bit. Yeah, it's like a third-person video game perspective is just a single shot over the shoulder, just a wide over the shoulder. So, in a way, that's kind of what that shot is. You get those all the time in video games. I'm gonna probably just say he pulls down the gag. Luce muffles annoyingly and pulls back away from him. Suit yourself, Luce. Pulls down her gag. You know I'm allergic to peanuts, you jag. I mean, the initial inclination is just to do these reverse shot, but I think there's a better way we can do it. I just need to figure out what. Loose stretches out her legs restlessly. What does that even mean, Maya? What does that even mean? Is that supposed to be a throwback to like the Scorpion King or something with the Rock? like a innuendo for that? Let's see. Don't you? All right, so oh shit, you're right. Oh. Oh yeah, no, you're right, Maya. Are they anagrams? They might be anagrams of each other. No, they're not. They're not. Why did I notice that? No clue. It's the magical way your mind works, Maya. Let's see here. So medium from loose, matches, okay, into a close-up. Crouches down in front of her, looks at peanut butter. You know I'm allergic to peanuts, you jag. Sorry, slipped my mind. Alright, so for this... See, how did this get through but not Ghost? These were never going to... Or, like, half the things Soria has been saying, too. Cryptid, there is no reason to rhyme. Remember, Maya was here last time we tried to figure out what the Ghostly thing... Like, people could say everything. They don't even need to do innuendo. They can just say it, and Twitch won't like, apparently make it disappear. But yeah, like, it's just what... Ghostly says one thing, and it goes away. I don't know. It's bizarre. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is want some. So then we get we'll do like a reverse shot. All right, reverse on loose. Loose muffles annoyingly and pulls back away from him. Suit yourself. Pulls down her gag. Close up here. And then what we're gonna do is then we need him to move a little bit here. There's a lot of monologue. So let's do reverse. This will be a medium. And it'll be behind. It'll be behind loose. So we'll get her silhouette head, like the back of her head, in the back of the chair. And then he's going to stand up and say, nope. Nope, I haven't killed Argyle yet. And then we're just going to jib up with him. Or we can tilt up if we don't want to. We might not need to jib up. Tilt will create more of an angle. Yeah, that might work. More than likely, just visually, unless we're very wide, we're going to lose loose when we tilt up, depending on how tall he is. Or how low we are. But this is where the context is going to switch. So that's kind of why I want to try to create a visual break here. Where once we realize why Matches has her tied up. Or to build into that. Alright. Matches. Don't you matches me. Points knife. You don't leave as long as he's still kicking. I'm not letting you run back to that bastard so we can throw you around some more. Actually, you know what? After he says don't matches me, you know what we'll do is we'll do a profile shot close up. Profile close up. The knife. The peanut butter knife. Inches from loose nose. Okay, Opera Soria. Oh, Opera Soria, go have fun. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Have a great night, too. Take care. Have a good time. Enjoy the socials. And then, once you're done, go back and rest and recoup. Okay. Have a lovely time. I'll man the fort in your absence. Salutes. Alright, so yeah, like... So it'll be one of those cut on the action. So he stands up, brings a knife down, and then we go into a profile. And then... on the latter half of his line here, it'll just be her reaction with the sort of like the peanut butter knife being like, you know, smeared with peanut butter, just waving at her. And we'll stay profile here. All right, this is where we're gonna shift into. We're gonna shift into his perspective. Or not his point of view, but his perspective. We're gonna keep her profile because now we're not quite sure what to make with her. Alright, so we'll do an up angle reverse. Well, it won't be a reverse because we're coming for a profile, but we'll go an up angle shot at him. It's definitely going to be... That's an unflattering shot for sure. A low angle looking up at him, it definitely puts him in a quote-unquote position of power, just visually. But him just licking the peanut butter off the knife is going to be... It's going to make that shot deeply unflattering. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. All right, that is the end of our first sprint, everybody. We'll start the down timer. Everyone take a break. Hopefully it was a somewhat productive sprint for everybody out there who is attempting to do the words. I think the biggest thing right now is trying to break down, in terms of the way that the script is laid out, is trying to do answers. It's trying to answer you're always trying to answer questions with more questions. And subtly imply subtext, if you can. If there is. Since this is leaning into the absurd a lot, it's kind of trying to lean into. I'm trying to play up the absurd while also kind of baiting your expectations for what you think you're seeing. Which the initial question is, you think that you're seeing someone who's been kidnapped and tied up, and a man is threatening this person. Then it comes to light that this man has tied this person up because it's the sort of quote-unquote the abusive boyfriend, and that he's taught this person tied up so he can go kill the guy. And this person's clearly, and Luce is clearly just doesn't care. So now it's trying to find... So the first part, I think, is a good starting point, but it's trying to figure out, once that comes out, what's the direction? Like, visually, what's the direction that you want to go? And how do you want to keep it compelling? So that's kind of the trick. Is trying to, like, how do I keep this... You want to keep the scene moving. You want to keep it compelling. But you're trying to imply more going on in the background. So now that that's been revealed, it's okay, so now what's the second half of this that I'm trying to suss out? I'm nearly done. Yes, scripted. Excellent. That is huge. Sorry, I was just marking where I left off because I don't have a comment in the exact spot, but I think I just trim it out. That is huge. And then I might be done with Witch Punks Book 1. Oh, you're almost there, Crypt. You're almost done. I mean, it's like, say that with a whisper, Cryptid. It's a whisper. Might you be? Is it possible? Is it possible? Maya, I got a new laptop from a friend that's a little bit better than what I had. I think I'm going to try and make a game with it. Oh, cool. Okay, are you, what are you going to use to make the game? The only thing I'm aware of is, like, Twine, which does, like, text-based games. But what would you use, Maya? Or would you try to do, like, Unreal? Like, actually, like, build out... Because you need a solid rig if you're going to start doing, like, any Unreal or Unity work, I think. I guess you could do, like, RPG. What is like, light novels and... not light novels, sorry. The video game, like, virtual novels? I can't remember what they're called. But you could make things like that, I'm assuming, like, with maybe RPG Maker? Cryptid, what will I do with my life? That is a good question. What would you do with your life? The answer is take a break and then start on the next thing. That's the answer. Or at least for me, that's always been the answer is, okay, take a break, you did it, you did the big thing, now on to the next thing. The only problem is that this folk horror thing, I've rewritten so many times, and I swore that this would be the last time that I played with it in terms of, like, tweaking it before I just had it out there, and then, you know, you tweak it when you're doing rehearsals with actors or whatever it might be. And I was reading it the other day to get ready to start, you know, breaking it down for storyboards, and I'm already like, there's some stuff in the second half, early in the second half, that's too much, too fast. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm already talking about rewriting it again. That is... There's no escaping it. It's just rewriting and rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. The amount of rewriting... When you take the initial story idea for a film and realize how often that script gets rewritten, and then you film it, and the filming, in a way, is a part of, like, obviously... as you're adapting it from page to screen, things change, and it gets revised again and again and adapted and, you know, tweaked based on cast, based on production stuff, based on what looks good. Sometimes things feel like they look good on paper and then they don't, so it's like another revision process. And then when you're editing it, that's just... And then you're doing, like, 6 different edits. It's like... The sheer amount of revisions that go into, like, films is nuts. It makes sense because they're so big, but, you know... It's just wild to me. It never ends. It makes sense, and then you understand, like, why people like Lucas keep tweaking with things like Star Wars or whatever. They just can't stop tinkering. I'll try my hand at Unreal Unity. Sweet. Okay. See what I can figure out, make a proof of concept. That's dope, Maya. If you can do that, that is huge. A buddy of mine just started doing, like, during COVID, started taking Unreal classes. And he's met some really cool people that are doing, like, a lot of these new sound stages in LA. that you utilize a lot of Unity for previs. It's, I mean, I tried. I need a new PC if I'm gonna get Unreal to work. It's just too bulky, but it's a great tool. And if you can, yeah, it's a way to make a video game. That is huge. You will start book 2. Exactly. I cracked open Demon's Book because I started Fallout and it was a menace to my brain, but I think I'm just going to toast it all. Oh, no! Well, I mean, you know, just keep it. Hey, Northwest Country Girl! Hey, it's been a while. It's been a long time. How have you been? How have you been these past months? We're just hanging out, waiting before we start our next sprint, where I'm going to keep breaking down Ghostly script into a shooting script. I can't reliably until I land an agent or sell it because I have to figure out how many I can sell. I wanted 3, but it might only be 2. Right. We talked about this whole, like, 2 versus 3 thing. I think I need a vacation after my vacation. I know that feeling 100%. I know that. I don't get to take vacations very often, and usually I kind of, you know, I do them alongside work when work allows me to travel for it. But I have definitely had I just did a whole vacation and now I'm back and I need another vacation. I just got back for a couple days for a 2-week cruise and a cruise to. Oh, you were on an Alaskan cruise. Okay, very cool, very cool. Wait, did you get to go? I don't know anything about Alaskan cruises, but my family's from Alaska, so I don't. Did you get to go to Alaska at all, or were you just off in the? Were you just off on like up? I mean, it's gorgeous up there when you go up to, you know, near the North Pole, past all that. Okay. Oh, okay. Vancouver to Juneau and back. Okay, got it. Let's see. If you ever get a chance, to go to Denali Park, I highly recommend. Denali Park is gorgeous. It's also where Mount Denali is as well, but it is one of the most beautiful nature preserves I have ever seen. And usually, of course, you want to go there in the summer because it's Alaska. Oh no! Hope you get some downtime soon. But other than that, how was the cruise? Was the weather good? Was it enjoyable to just kind of? Was it exciting? Was it fun, or was it? It sounds like if you need a break, it might have been like a lot. It might have been kind of a lot. But I've never been on like a full cruise. On 2 separate days, we cruised through Glacier Bay. That's beautiful. Did you get to see whales? I don't know if it's the time of year for whales, but sometimes you see it's spring. You might start seeing them move up there. I don't know. It depends what the weather's like or how cold it is. But it'd be cool if you got to. Yeah, there's a lot of. You can definitely do some whale spotting up there, if the season's right. We have whales here, but I don't know if they're further north or not. Yeah, it depends. It always depends on the weather. When you go up in that area, I mean that sea can be brutal. That sea can be vicious. It's rough. On a private tour in Stika, we actually ended up in the middle of a pod of pod whales. Not in a whole pod of gray whales. Awesome. Yay. Yeah. No old Tom yet. But the humpbacks are off the Cape now. Oh, nice reference. Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Yeah, I never got to go. I got to see a few whales up in Alaska, but most of my encounters with the whales were down in the Sea of Cortez, down in Mexico. And that we saw a few orcas down there, and the orcas are. I love orcas, but they are like death machines. But they are, at least back when I was down there, they were very sweet. As long as you're not being stupid. Ironically, the one thing we didn't see was oh no! And wasn't there just the big Northern Lights thing too? We just had the Northern Lights stretched down over. Yeah, you didn't get to see were you under cloud cover? You had to have seen them up there. I mean, that was last week? Oh no, that's awful. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. Oh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry. Particularly when you're on a cruise like that. Ugh. Man, there is no place like up near the North Pole, and when you're up there, there is no place to see the Northern Lights like up there, except for maybe Tromso in Norway. That might be the only spot better than like the northern points in Alaska or up on the ice floe. That's I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That I hope at some point in the future you get to go back up there or somewhere up north again and get to see the lights. I there's a part of me that hopes everybody gets to witness that at least once in their lives because it's an utterly incredible experience. Well, you'll probably get another chance at home. There's apparently a really active section of the sun this year. Yeah, yeah. I think the sun's at like one of those because it goes in what like 12 or 15 year cycles. I think we're at a pretty peak cycle, and it's especially throwing out a lot of solar flares our way. So, all right, I am gonna go. Let's see. Let me check the. We'll probably have to run ads. Yep, ad break. All right, I'm gonna get water, and then we'll dive back into Ghostly's script here in a second. Oh, okay. Oh, what? What's up, bud? I know. I got up, and now he thinks everything's about. Yep, everything's about him getting something. I don't know. He has food. What? What do you want? Hi. Hi. Sometimes he gets mad. Like I have to be on the floor with him. Like I have to be actively on the floor. I'm not allowed to be in a chair. buddy, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh. There you go. Okay. Buddy, you got my arm. All right, there we go. All right, I'm getting harassed. All right. Let's see here. I have plans for a Scandinavia trip in the not too distant future, so that will be on the list of the yes. So if you go in the winter, Tromso is the northernmost Sweet Orange Prince. Yep, I don't know if you can all see him, but he's like right here getting up. Yeah, he's in a mood. Yeah, he's in a mood. Tromso in Norway is definitely like the best place to go see the Northern Lights, probably in the world, unless you are just on the North Pole. Um, hi, hello, hi, I know. Or like up on the on the ice floe. Buddy, yes, I know, sweet boy. Um, but pretty much anywhere in Norway, if you're there in the winter, you'll probably be able to get a pretty good thing, like a pretty good view. But yeah, if you have a Scandinavia trip in the future, I can highly recommend Oslo. I loved Oslo. Oslo's fantastic. And even going out into the fjords, into the boonies in Norway is a good time. You meet a lot of great people and see some crazy old mines. Hey, Stephanie Pills, welcome in, welcome in, welcome. We're just wrapping up a chat before we get started on our next sprint, where I am breaking down a script by one of our own community members. But if you are a writer, feel free to share what you're working on or work alongside us. But the other place, Denmark, I highly like Denmark is a if you want like a great city, Copenhagen and if you like arts, Aarhus is has an amazing art museum and just a great art culture. And amazing forest like reserves in Denmark, like Dyrehaven. And then if you like music, Roskilde has a great music festival that's in Denmark as well. Uh, I had a great time in those places, so I would highly recommend if popping around in Scandinavia. I spent a while there on a job. I was there for like 2 months, just so I just got to pop around all over the place. But it's definitely one of the places I want to go back to. It's one of my favorite parts. Favorite parts of the world is going up to like the north Scandinavia. Still want to go to Iceland. I haven't been to Iceland yet. Buddy, oh my god, it's time to work. It's time to work. Okay, all right, it is time. Uh, well, yeah, Yeg is plans. Oh man, are you speaking? I cannot speak at all. But but you said Aarhus, so I'm assuming you mean Aarhus. Like you're going to Aarhus. Um, Denmark has a lot of really cool historical sites that are actively making new discoveries too. Yeah, I mean the Viking ship museums in both Copenhagen and in Oslo are a good time. Um, Definitely a good time. The old stone churches are really cool too. Um, Definitely recommend them. All right, let us dive back into our sprint. As I said, I'm gonna be talking through the sprint while I'm breaking down the script. So feel free to mute so you don't get distracted by my voice or whatever while you're trying to get words done. So, all right, let us dive into our next sprint. This might be we're gonna try to do 3 sprints, but I don't know if we're gonna have time. So we might only do 2 tonight. I do have to be wrapped up in a little bit over an hour. A little bit out, so we'll see. We'll see where we're at. All right. Happy writing, everybody. We will see you on the other side. And if you are working, go get them words. I'm learning Danish and Swedish with Duolingo. That's a difficult language to learn, so congrats. If I can make it to 9 months to a year, seriously playing the trip, it was perfect. It's a great reward. It's what I've been doing with Japanese. So, that's not an easy language. The Danish and Swedish, not easy. Specifically Danish. All right. Put music up. Two different series at the moment. One of them is True Crime series. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome, Stephanie. That's cool. Crime series is good. I don't read enough good crime books. Like I feel like I need some more crime in my life. So that's cool. I'm into that. I dig that. That's awesome. I've been learning Finnish on here. Oh, nice. Oh man, Finnish. That's another difficult one. All right. So we got close up matches. The up angle. I don't think it's equal dynamic. Clearly. I know the shot that I want. Shot here. So we're gonna do a POV or I need more crime. Oh man. Oh no, Opera Story is not here. You're not wrong, Liz. And they are adding quotes to. I will write that down so Opera Story, because everyone's trying to get compromising quotes of me that then they can do for our tort bot. I think one of them is I love toxic relationships. I think that is the one that has been added. Just for context, I was not talking about real toxic relationships. Thank you very much. I was talking about in books. So yes, the out of context quotes seem to be the everybody. So I will add that one. That one will get added. I need more crime in my life. Yeah. You know what? I feel too safe. All right. Weirdly enough, I haven't. Oh, really? That's cool, Cryptid. That's if you find it easy, good on you. That's that's huge. All right. So we want. Alright, so that's going to be a close-up down angle on Luz. Because I definitely like the idea of her in clown makeup kind of like giving the camera a look up, you know, with this line. And it packs a punch. I think maybe we'll just linger on that and have matches. Maybe matches can dirty the frame and then walk out. That's true. Yeah, I forgot Cryptid. Yeah, if you are an expert at one language, particularly in breaking down the rules, it makes sense that, like, yeah, you would be able to deconstruct. When I started learning Chinese and started to move into Japanese, I definitely started to learn more. So, I learned. I actually got better at English by being able to break down rules and things like that. So it does make sense to me that would make your life easier learning another language. Oh, Moonrunes, you're heading out early. You have to work early in the morning tomorrow, but I was able to finish my revision with Jess. Yes, go get some rest and huge revision. You did it, Moonrunes. And yes, thank you so much. That picture is everything. I love it, Moonrunes. So thank you for that. I know you worked hard on that, and it was well worth the wait to get it. So thank you so much, and go get some rest and celebrate your revision on chapter 1. Yeah, yes, congrats on killing it, big time. Okay. Let's see. Crime novel is very dark and at some parts downright disturbing. I mean, it's true crime. I feel like that's on point for true crime. I don't know how many true crime novels don't have like deeply disturbing elements. So I feel like that's a part of the genre. I guess it would be expected. I would expect there to be very dark elements. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Of course. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Back and forth here. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I follow that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same thing with me. It's why I remember my parents sent my grandparents back to Norway because that's where my family's from. Norway and Sweden. So I get you. Yeah. Yep. You go alphabetical. Nice. That's funny. Yeah. Perfect. I write deeply disturbing things. I'm not even a true crime author. You're in good company. Yeah. I was gonna say like. I feel like particularly, I mean, I have a full horror script I wrote that's in my scripts that I don't recommend lightly because of how dark it is. So there's a lot of dark stuff in that script. So I also write deeply disturbing things. I'm not a true crime author. You're in good. That just means you're in good company. Everybody, you're just Stephanie. You're in great company here. We're one of us. One of us. One of us. Exactly. Okay. Hmm. All right, I gotta skim this because it might be done, but I need to be sure it works. So I'm gonna. Yep, go for it, Cryptid. Go for it. Get it done. Get it done. It's the big screen. Yeah, you'll get me in the office tonight. So it's the big screen experience. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Dude, I meant to. Yeah, I'm with you there, Maya. My work schedule's been rough. I wonder. Hmm. I don't know if you. I mean, feel free to take a break, Maya, if you need to. If forcing myself to work when I'm mentally exhausted is rough. I mean, sometimes you have to do it out of necessity, but if you can avoid it, I don't think many people do their best work when they're exhausted. But I feel you. I like this one, but I promise after I murk him, I'll help you find a new boyfriend. I finished 11 chapters and went back to make changes, and I'm done with the first 5. Chapter 7, 9, 10, and 11 need bigger changes to align with certain things. Goddamn, I'm a throw, baby. Consistency edits are a bastard. You're running a gauntlet. You're allowed to be exhausted, tedious. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to be like, particularly the way that you go back and revise these works, Maya, that is... I can understand why you'd want to throw a baby. That's brutal. That is brutal. Alright. I guess... I'm struggling to figure out how I want to block and or shoot this. Hmm. People say editing mid-draft is a no-no, but I see why. I mean, whatever your process is. I mean, it just... I get maybe for some people it doesn't work. I can see where maybe, like, you're probably always going to need to go back and do a full revision. But I think if that's the way that you work, if that helps you work on it, or if that makes your work better, then I don't see why it's a problem. I think that's... Yeah, if it works for you, Maya, do it. Like, never... Yeah, yeah. If anyone ever gives you an adage like that, I think they're full of shit. But that's just me. I tend to not like people that give weird dogmatic ultimatums about an artistic endeavor that is always processual and is essentially a process by definition, and a process unique to whoever's creating it. So I don't. There's guides that can maybe make things easier, but I don't think you should ever take something written as law if it's nonsense. I know how stressful editing can be. The first book of the crime series is... oh, that's a lot of pages. And it was a nightmare to edit? Stephanie, I can imagine. That is... that sounds rough. 1,000 pages? Woo! That's a mammoth book. That is a tome. I advise this only so my authors can actually finish the damn book. If it doesn't slow your progress to a crawl, go off. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. Yeah, if it's distracting you from actually finishing it, then maybe. But yeah, and that's also timeline stuff. You know, if you need to finish things by time, do it. That's got to be like a 250k word book. Yeah, that's a lot. It's hefty. I mean, sometimes true crime does lend itself to being pretty hefty. For that reason, it's the historical stuff. I only edit when I immediately know the answer. If I don't, I mark it for fixing later. Yep. That makes sense. Man, if you have a 201-day streak on that, well done, Cryptid. Margins and spacing will lie. Do. Well done, Cryptid. That is huge. Like, well, yeah, the 200 days? Whew. Consistency, man. That's how you learn a language. You hit 120 tomorrow. Awesome. Hey, welcome in, Fadeverse. Welcome in. What software am I creating on? This is Final Draft right now. We're working in Final Draft because we do screenplay, or I do screenplays. So primarily I work in like things like Scrivener, Final Draft, things like that. Yeah, well done, man. Both of you are knocking it out of the park on the language apps. Well done. Woo, both of you. All right, so I think the way that I'm final Scrivener, yeah. So I'm thinking, so this is like where some like character motivations and subtext comes in. So this is where I want to try to shoot this informed by the subtext of how the character, and because the dialogue, I mean, where it's pretty much like 4 or 5 pages straight of dialogue before too much movement is happening. So it seems like the relationship here is matches primarily looks at Luce as, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say like almost like a sister primarily, which is probably why, which also makes sense why when she tries to get flirty with him later, he reacts poorly to it. So it's like he's got the protective feel, but it's not romantic. It's not written in a romantic way at all. So why does he want to be a sort of big brother protector of this person? Like, there needs to be something drawing him for this, so like he also laments at the end. It definitely has like a big brother little sister kind of vibe. Okay, good hanging out, but gotta bail. Oh, have a great night. Have a great night. Look at the girl. Welcome in. Glad to see you again. But yes, go. Have a great night. Take care. Paspa og farvel. I probably butchered that. The pronunciation is not good. But yes, take care. Have a great evening. Wonderful seeing you again. And yeah, enjoy. Hopefully you get to rest after your big old vacation. So. Okay, good. Hang on, I gotta bail. Yep, and I tried to cut it down, but it just got longer, and I also finished writing and editing the whole book in 7 months. Ooh. Wow, 7 months to write and finish. Ooh, good lord. Well done. I mean, that's impressive. Good job. Good job. Oh no, Ghostly! Oh no! Mostly me trying to... Right now I'm just trying to pull the motivations and subtext to motivate some of their blocking / how I want to shoot it. So I'm kind of thinking, like... I'm trying to figure out, like, what... Out of kind of the clearly what feels like a sort of, like, protective big brother... Or, like, kind of protective over their sister relationship that Matches seems to have for Luce. I'm trying to figure out kind of, like, what need he's getting fulfilled by doing this during this conversation to try to motivate, what he does and how he does it, in a way. I see. You have any questions for what I was thinking? Shoot it at me. I mean, it's fundamentally clear you're not doing a romantic thing here. There's no romantic tension between Luce and Matches. I mean, I know Luce, like, flirts with him and tries to, like, goad him a little bit, but there's no, like, romantic tension. At least I didn't read romantic tension there. So I'm reading it more, like, brotherly, protectory kind of thing. So it seems like Matches kind of has, like, a need to feel, like... It could be a feeling of control. Like, that he can, like, do good and control through what he sees himself doing here for Luce. Which is kind of by force. I mean, he's fundamentally taking her autonomy away. Under the guise of trying to protect her. I mean, he is trying to protect her, but he is functionally removing her autonomy by locking her up. Yeah, that's what okay, yeah, he's got a twisted hero complex, yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, yeah, so he's compelling. Okay, so what we'll do here is... We'll go back to the profile shot here. Dolly back into a 2-shot. Medium. There we go. So it's profile on her. She actually can look towards camera, whining, where she says, "But I like Argyle. He's got, like, maybe, but I like Argyle. He's got power and money and big arms." Maybe just kill the Argyle in the name. You probably just do, but he's got power and money and big arms, because that's the funny part of the line. Matches stabs his knife into the peanut butter jar and leans in. So we'll dolly back as he kind of, like, comes down, because he's kind of trying to compel her. And then we'll pull into a 2-shot of them where he's trying to... This is like him trying to... Obviously, he's trying to reason, but he's speaking it casually. My whole goal with their dynamic initially was, at its heart, they're ride or die best friends. Okay, got it. Yep. They're each other's people. It's a bit pseudo-sibling-ish, but I rather keep it loose because she does flirt with him. Well, yeah, not I don't mean like in the literal sense. It's actually makes sense because he gets very annoyed with her when she tries to flirt with him. But that's a mismatch, like whether or not he sees her, you know, they're best friends clearly. Whether or not he sees her kind of, but he sees her in a very protective way. He's like hyper protective of her in a way. So obviously from having a twisted hero complex, but particularly because it's with her and they seem to be so close, it can be easily misconstrued as a romantic sort of protection or sibling protection. The dynamic's supposed to be a little uncertain besides the fact that they're close, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, picking up strays. Actually, this works out perfectly. Into the 2-shot, then we get her rubbing his leg. We'll do an insert shot. We'll do insert close-up, just to cover our butts, as you might say. But we'll keep it the 2-shot. Oh, hey, I want to show you something, a picture, so remind me when a break comes up, because I'll... Oh, because 69, 420% forget. That's... that's a good... I appreciate the numbers. She waits for a monotone shift. Yep. Okay, so... So flicking, yeah, and maybe brush the leg away. I don't know about having him flicking a finger under her chin. It works. I don't know if visually that's gonna look. That might look weird, particularly. Yeah. Then we go back up to our close-up. You directors Boogo having to actually abide by reality is insane to me. Yeah, and even when we visualize it and think we're abiding by reality, when you actually get on to location to film it, you realize that even then it doesn't work. So, it's always... believe me, what happens in your... It's shocking how often what happens in your brain does not translate to reality. Or at least the reality that's able to be captured on camera. And not look awkward or strange. It's kind of a unique thing. You can imagine something in your head when you're reading it in prose, and it makes sense. And the moment you see it visually depicted to you, it will look very off and weird. You see a lot in, like, you know, it's just not how... It's funny. The suspension of disbelief is interesting in terms of where it is in, like in terms of where, like, how people talk, what they say, and what they do, and how they engage with objects is just like if you directly translate it from prose, it sounds real weird. It would look insane. Really in this house, yeah, reality in this house. I never, yeah, right. I could never. You are honestly a wizard. I don't know about that, but that is kind of your job as a director. Is you're extrapolating. You have to translate this. You have to try to capture what the vibe is, what you want to get out of it. And I'm trying to lean into the absurdity, but because you don't want to go too crazy with it, you kind of want to let the performers do it, so you don't want to get too nuts, like go full Terry Gilliam with it or anything like that. I'm trying, like, where I want to do the profile shot of him pointing the butter or the peanut butter knife with the dirtied with peanut butter at her, and wanting to do that in a profile shot, because that's kind of, it's a muted thing, but it's also kind of absurd to have like peanut butter dripping off of a peanut butter knife that's pointing at someone, you know, threateningly or scoldingly. That's kind of like, I'm trying to leave that level of absurdity and kind of silliness, but not get too over the top with it. I'm trying to let the camera be simple while this is happening. And then if we need to pitch anything, you really want to like crank it, then we come in and crank it. But you don't want, I did like, one of the biggest problems is I struggled doing this for a long time, particularly in directing performance, is that it's very easy to pitch big and like when people go big to be like, oh yeah, that's funny, that goes big, and then when you're cutting it together and looking at it, it's just cartoonish and buffoonery and it doesn't work, and you don't buy it. It's actually why for a long time I didn't want to do like genre material anymore, because I was like, I clearly can't direct pitched emotions that are like elevated. They're elevated outside of necessarily reality. But are still buyable in the world, and apparently that middle point I just had a hard time hitting, at least in terms of like the way I directed the performers. It's a difficult thing to do. It's not easy. It's for whatever reason I find it a lot easier to try to direct grounded realistic performances. So I'm trying to like be simpler here, so then I can, as I see how the performers perform it, I can try to like make it more cohesive instead of just cartoonish. I like that a lot. You get my vibes. Hopefully, we'll see. Hopefully, y'all. I have no more comments in the manuscript. Yay, Cryptid! Woo! Well done. You did it, Cryptid. You did it. Oh man, levitate, float, ascend, Cryptid. Ascend into. I am done revising Witch Punks. Huge. Well done, Cryptid. Shout out to you. Well fucking done. Let's go. Well done, Cryptid. I hope you have the most indulgent... I hope you have, in some way, whatever is possible, the most indulgent treat or celebration that you can give to yourself. I hope that you do it. Please do it, because that's huge. That is not even just a no small feat. That is a gargantuan feat. That is climbing Olympus. That is huge. It's a very my back hurts, but that is fine. I'm getting an ice cream sandwich. It's a very nice ice cream sandwich. Chef's kiss. Just savor every moment of that ice cream sandwich. Congrats on your final. I can't wait till you reread it and find more things to alter and change. I mean, hopefully not. At some point, you do have to put it down. But yes, if the editor is finishing with the comments, that's probably a sign that the editor has done the editing. I think Cryptid is probably one of the most eagle-eyed editors I've ever seen. There you go, Cryptid. That's how you solve that problem. I'm just not going to look at it until the agent tells me to. And that's how you do it, everybody. You just send it out and put it away. Honestly, I highly recommend doing that. If I do that with scripts. It's what forces me to stop reading it, is I send it out to readers. Once I send it out to readers, that's it. I stop looking at it until I get notes back from them. Oh shit, are we in ads? Oh no, everybody, I'm sorry about the ads. Shit. That's my bad. That's my bad, everybody. I've gotten so used to Opera Soria doing it that I messed up and forgot to check the time on the ads. So, okay, so this is going to be a down angle on loose. Close up down. Okay, so we have insert close up leg. Yeah, that's from the 2-shot. No, don't worry. Don't worry about it, Clipto. Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry. That is... I don't want to start throwing responsibilities onto people or anything like that. Aside from just, you know, you're already very good at being protective of the community, which is all you need to do. That's all I need, is just protecting the community. But I'll figure out the ad nonsense. That was just, I completely spaced it. Don't worry about it. That is definitely not on you or up to you. I can. And honestly, Opera has been doing that just as like a kindness to me. And also, Opera is just good at figuring that shit out. Close up, down angle. Come on, matches. Slight close up, but we're coming from a 2-shot, right? Yeah, we're coming from a wide. It's gonna, yeah, dolly back into a 2-shot medium. Oh, I've heard of Stoop Waffle. Ghostly sits in the corner with her blocks. Yes, you must guard us from the Tarantino fans. Yeah. Not even Tarantino fans, just assholes. Like, I even like late Eric Tarantino. I mean, I'm not a diehard fan of Tarantino, but I think his later films are good. But yeah, Jesus, just not being a dick. It's not hard. It's my life. I can make my own choices. No, we'll just do close-up profile. We're going to jump in. Close-up profile. So we just go back. I don't know if I want to be on her. I got you as a dickwad free zone. Yeah. I'm all for it. Yeah. I just... Seriously, though, blocks are awesome. I think they should be considered ageless. Hey, man, I'm a Lego. I mean, I don't have a lot of Legos anymore, but I definitely have no shame about being obsessed with Legos as an adult. I like blocks are fun. I mean, painting model. If I was better at painting and building models, it's always something I've wanted to be in. Like, I've always something I want to get into. It's just expensive, which I already have one expensive hobby, not another. I don't want to add another one unless I can afford it. Also, time. Didn't Tarantino direct a movie and cast himself for a certain role where he got to lick an actress's feet? He didn't direct that one. You're talking about From Dusk Till Dawn, and that was directed by Robert Rodriguez, but he wrote it. And he did get cast as the guy I think you're talking about with Salma Hayek, right? I think he licks Salma Hayek's feet in that. Because she plays the stripper in that at the... Yes, but yes, he did. He did do that. That is, yeah. I mean, yeah. Directors are weird. They're freaks. It's, you know, to each their own in terms of how they're a freak. But it's no shock that it's no shock that Tarantino has an inappropriate obsession with feet, and also just, you know, being a weirdo. I mean, they're like fine. Like, your kinks are fine, whatever. And like, there's an argument to be made that if you're making a movie and that's films are always expressions of artistic obsession, and elements of that can always fall into kink, and films are not unique in this way. From painting to literature to art, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's just, you start running into problems when you're dealing with, obviously, like consent. You're working with a crew, you need to be professional and stuff like that. And back in the 90s, it was still like everybody was on cocaine, and being inappropriate. So that's the downside of those sorts of things. Is like, it's like, are people okay with that? Like, is some Hayek like, hey, that's fucked up, you know? So, yeah, that's the problem. So next stream, I'll be working on Vamp Book, or trying to, Sweats, and possibly trying to rework Demon's Book and outline. Awesome. Well, that's great, Cryptid. Me, Fallout series, how fucking dare you make me open the manuscript again? Yeah, I need to watch that show. Ghostly, that's wildly upsetting. Yes, yes it is. Tarantino has like, he's got weirdo vibes. There's a few directors out there that like have vibes that I'm shocked they still work, because everything they do seems to borderline be problematic. You know, and you're just waiting for somebody to be like, yeah, this, you know, this was not okay. But Tarantino, I don't think Tarantino has ever done anything as outrightly bad. I think Leto is a special kind of bad vibe. I don't even think Tarantino hits the Leto thing. Gives me some Dan Schneider vibes. Yeah, that's fair. Yep. Yeah, Walter Goggins has me in a vice grip, and I'm just existing with it. Grateful my closest relative with letting me catch up. Okay, Cryptid, that's good. Oh, shit, and that's the end of that. All right, we will take a break. And it's probably going to be about a 30-minute third sprint, so we're not going to do a full 40 minutes, because I do have to wrap up around 7:30, 7:40. But I do want to try to get through this. But now we're talking about directors and bad vibes, and you're getting me all distracted. Because I do, there's a thing that I always joke about where I say all directors are perverts, but it's like how you can be, there's a difference between people who are interested in kink and weird and like, you know, there's fine, you know, to each their own, no sex shame, none of that nonsense, but like the problem that you run into in Hollywood is it just becomes so predatory all the time. Like, it's deeply, deeply inappropriate and predatory. And that's the problem I have with it, mostly. Salma Hayek, that's gross and fucked up director. Money and Cocaine, Salma Hayek, how artistic. I mean, maybe, but I don't even know if that's the case. I mean, lots of times there's pressure, particularly for starting people, actors, and, you know, actors to just they can't say anything because, you know, you don't want to piss off a director, or you don't want to piss off a producer, or you don't, there are pressures to essentially keep your mouth shut if you want to keep working. And that's a big part of the problem, because it's so hard to get in and get your get in through the door and all that kind of stuff. Like, so one of the writers that I worked with when I worked for that producer in Beverly Hills, the two writers, one of them was Victoria, who I guess some of you know because she ended up writing the Red Queen books. But it was her and a person from USC that she graduated with that got hired on to write when I was working for this producer. So I was like, when I was communicating with them and meeting with them, and like, you know, you go out to like dinners with them and stuff like that. And her co-writer ended up getting a job on SHIELD, Agents of SHIELD, or whatever it is, right? Yeah, like whatever that Marvel show was. But then there became the whole, apparently there was inappropriate things going on between that she ended up having to deal with, that happened because of Joss Whedon. And like, it's just, people are kind of forced into being quiet or not being able to talk about things because people in the industry do tend to use, like, they're like, you're kind of like, if you want to keep working, you got to be cool. And are you cool? You better be cool. And that's kind of how that culture proliferates. It grows out of that into much more toxic and obviously then full on just straight up predatory behavior. The things that you'd see with like Weinstein and things like that. Ghostly has a genuine fear of Jared Leto. Like, no joke, seeing his films causes a fear response. I agree. No, I do too. I don't like Jared Leto. He freaks me out. The only movie I watch, so I've seen Requiem for a Dream a few times. I don't watch that movie that much anymore, but he's also the most normal in that. He's just a junkie. and it doesn't like it was before Leto got super crazy. But the only modern movie I can watch Jared Leto in that I can stand him in is Blade Runner 2049. And he's good. He's good as evil corporate sociopath. So let's see. Seeing films. Twilight, aren't you a director? About my comment that all director are perverts. Yeah, yes. I am indeed a director, Ghostly, but I'm not in the predatory way. And just in the harmless, mostly silly way. Jared Leto's a good singer, great singer, in fact, Met actor. Also a furry. Jared Leto's because he dressed up in that furry outfit. So my first AD years ago was a furry. Some of my best friends are furries, so I have no shame with the furry community. But that is partially what I mean when I say that's part of my joking. You know, all directors are perverts. It's like there are kind, communal, like healthy ways to go about expressing those communities that aren't toxic or problematic. Furries are rad as hell as a whole, fantastic community. Yeah, exactly, Cryptid. Yes. Yep. I learned a lot about furries from my AD when I first started working out here, and I have come to love them dearly. I am not one, despite the screen name. I just run adjacent from working cons and being in the goth community for decades. I think that comes from also being in the goth community. Because the goth communities, there is not a ton, but there is certain overlaps with like S&M communities and goth communities, and I've spent a lot of my time being around S&M communities. So S&M communities tend to have very strict rules about consent, how things are done, and they can get very, very upset if these rules and certain safety guards are not very strictly followed. Which is part of the reason why I have such a big problem with the more like lackadaisical, can be predatory behavior that you see in Hollywood. Switchback is the only good movie I've seen him in. Oh, Switchback's good. I mean, Blade Runner 2049 is an incredible film, but and I think the problem with Requiem for a Dream is that so much of it is Darren Aronofsky's films have not aged. The only one that aged well for me is The Fountain. I think I used to be such a big Darren Aronofsky fan, and I think I finally moved past him. I can't even like Pi. I went back and rewatched Pi, and I was like, yeah, I see why it was a big deal at Sundance in the 90s, but yeah. I think The Fountain is an incredible film, and I do like Noah. The Fountain and Noah are both great movies. Yeah. Maybe those are like the only two movies I can go back and watch him in. Yeah. It's okay. I am not actually dead. Ghostly. I'm not actually dead. I don't think I could write. I don't think I could write for other people. Or if you ever work as a ghostwriter, you have to tell us, because that would be some damn fine symmetry. That's true. Ghostly, you have the same issue that I do, where I have a problem writing. I can't write for. It's why I'm not a very good like writer for hire. When I got into the Warner Brothers thing, that was very quickly where I learned I can't write on other people's TV shows. That would be rad. Yep, that's also how I know the S&M community, which is very funny when me and A-Spec explains it to my straight friends. Yeah. That's just, I don't know. You start to realize that this stuff has been around a long time, and all you need to do is just go to these cultures and ask people, like these subcultures, and ask them if you're interested in that stuff. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. For some reason, I think what it comes from is there's a allure that people with authority and power in the film industry sort of create about themselves that make them feel like they can do anything with impunity, and that's more the problem, because I think a lot of it does come from just power, like a fetishization of power itself, which is largely the problem. I've debated it, but revision process is exhausting. Editing Pal does it and tells me things. I don't know. I just, after having to back out of the whole TV thing, I just don't think I could do it. Send me the picture. Put it on the Discord. There we go. Or, yeah, send it to me. Oh, is this like a map? Oh, shit. That looks really good, dude. That's really good. Pi was visually fun, but it lacked spark that I got with Requiem. Yeah, Liz, I think that's probably the... Yeah, and the problem is like my obsession with Satoshi Kon has actually hurt my appreciation of Requiem for a Dream. Obviously, it ruined Black Swan because Black Swan is just straight up a ripoff of Perfect Blue. But there's so many, like, when she's screaming in the bathtub, to the top down shot of her in the bathtub, to them being drugged out, like, all those shots are directly from Perfect Blue, and it's just like, it kind of retroactively ruined those movies for me, even though, like, the soundtrack to Requiem for a Dream is great, and yes, Jared Leto is not bad in that movie, and obviously what's her name, from The Exorcist, I can't remember the actress's name. Ellen Bernstein's performance in Requiem for a Dream is incredible. So there's highlights to it, but I still think that for me, The Fountain, I think it's The Fountain. Fountain and Noah have become like the films of Aronofsky's that I can still go back to. Life of Pi. Life of Pi. I actually liked Life of Pi. It wasn't too bad. I mean, I have a soft spot for Ang Lee. He does some weird stuff, but I have a soft spot for him. His Hulk movie is terrible, but I do like a lot of things he does. But in this is since Darren Aronofsky's Pi. Yep. We'd see that within the old within the old guarded publishing. There's less of it now, but there's a reason why certain sci-fi cons no longer exist and why other agencies have gone totally under. That makes sense because people are bad. That's fair. I think if I'd seen the movies from which he stole from and not A's first, I'd feel the same. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Yeah. All right, we're going to change the timer to 30 because I am going to have to dip out after this. But I do want to try to get most of this done. I've heard good things about Dallas Buyers Club if we're talking about the Leto. I have two. I saw it, and I don't remember much about it. It definitely has... So I have, like, certain Oscar films, like what I call Oscar baity films, like, have a very, like, my brain kind of, like, I just can't focus on them, and I forget about them. So I don't remember much about Dallas Buyers Club. That's not, like, damning it, but it's also, like, it's not very memorable to me. Has anyone... Oh, Fences? Oh, yes. Fences. Yes. That's from this year, right? That came out this year, right? I'm not crazy. Oh, no, that was 2016. Never mind. It's 2016. Yes. Did it win it? Did it win? But Fences, yeah, that's a great movie. The guy who plays his brother in that, I think he played the best part. That's Twilight. That was 8 years ago. Ghostly, let me tell you something about time. when you get older, is that I still to this day have moments where I remember things from 2014 and I feel like it happened last year. Okay, that is a thing that happens to me on the regular. So yeah, I still don't feel like 2014 is that long ago. I kind of want to pretend like it's not. Oh geez, here we go. When you get older, or a circle. Yeah, it's more time is a flat circle. Yeah, back in my day. Yeah, I just don't. Time is time throws me. This map is really good, Maya. Wherever you made this map, or however you made it, it's really good. That's like, it's fancier than like most D&D maps I see too. It's pretty solid. I mean, there's some hard edges on the rivers when you like zoom in, but if you zoom out, it's pretty clean. So I like it. All right, we should dive in and get this. Why like that was 8 years ago. It's a millennial thing. They proved it because life moved pretty fast for all of us. Yeah, yeah, we never really got time to slow down. It was just kind of we woke up one day and from pretty much the millennium on, we've been at breakneck speed through chaos. Just ever evolving degrees of nightmare fuel and chaos for 25 years almost. 24. Um we're just traumatized at all. Yeah, we definitely have a lot of the trauma. Yeah, we're also that big generation that's really seeing the like the broad downturn. Um where we were the ones who grew up where everything was still like bright and shiny and everything's supposed to get better all the time, and you know like really the whole thing about upward mobility was like really beaten home when we were growing up. That's for sure. Because I mean, when we were growing up, remember they said that there would never be another depression ever again. Like they literally thought it was impossible, which is insane. Which is an utterly insane thing to think. Like I don't know why they ever thought that, but when you're like a 13-year-old kid and they're just like everything will always be amazing, and you're like cool. I can only measure years by where I lived because you moved too much. Yeah, yeah. Are you all millennials? Probably a lot of us. I don't think all of us are, but I definitely know a few of us in here are for sure. We had a window. Our hope in the '90s, and everything crashed and burned so hard. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, even it was what was going on in the '90s was all an illusion. Anyway, none of it was real. It just the ability to keep the walls up to not see what was actually going on and how it was going to start kicking back towards us was blind leading up to it. But someone else made them. Oh, Matt, but I made some decent edits and did some. Oh, the stained parchment color. Yeah, the parchment color looks great. I'm very happy with it. Just add a few more names. The word awesome. I was getting my English degree and planning to get into editing at the same print media was crashing. It was not pleasant. Yeah, well, I remember. Yeah, moving out to LA was what I moved out to LA 2.5 years after the '08 strikes, and that's why nobody got paid, and the only work you could get was in reality television, which is primarily what I did for a long time. Was just doing PA and camera op work in reality TV, which is funny because this is how I know it's gotten worse, is because of YouTube and content creation. I used to get paid $150 a day to PA and $300 a day to cam op on a reality show. So if it was like a week-long shoot, I'd get paid $300 for the 5-6 days I was working, or $150 if I was a runner. And nowadays when I see day rates for like YouTubers, editors, and all that kind of stuff are paying out like $200, $150 for camera people, for edit. It's wild. So I'm actually seeing the wages perpetually depressed. So it's actually harder now than it was when I first moved out here. Obviously, the last 10 years in LA have literally been what some are now calling the Great Depression. So this is a bad time to live in LA. bad decade to pick to move out here, or get into the film industry. But we made it. We're here. We're still alive. We're kicking. I mean, I don't know for how much longer, but we're still hanging on there. My generation was raised with very little hope. I like to think about it in your standards on the floor. It can only go up. Yeah, that's kind of. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing for your kind of era demographic. Ghostly, is we came up when everything was still like everything's going to be great. You're going to get a high-paying job. You're going to go to college. You're going to get all that, and everything's going to be dandy and wonderful, and the markets are going up. And remember, we were also in the tech boom. The dot-com boom is what they called it, where we were like, everything was changing. The world was like, money was just exploding from fountains. But there was signs. There were signs reaching all the way back into the 80s. A lot of it started with Reagan. To be bluntly honest, a lot of it hadn't hit in the 90s yet. But a lot of the deregulations and the commissions that happened under the Reagan years kind of really hit the forefront. I mean, it was 2008. And it probably would have happened earlier if it hadn't been for the crashes, the .com crash and 9/11, because those kind of re-shook the markets. So I think that you would have probably seen a massive crash before 2008, had those two things not happened. But I mean, that's what you literally see, like Rage Against the Machine protesting Wall Street back in like what 1998, where they shut down Wall Street. Which was wild. Back in the day when a band could just do that, could just shut down a block in Manhattan. Just say the children, Wildlight. I know what I am. My standards are really on the floor, but the floor is depressing now. Oh, yeah, for sure. Makes sense. I was about to say, and all this is Reagan's fault. It really is. I mean, everything. I mean, you could directly draw the line from Reagan. Well, it wasn't from Reagan himself, but it was Reagan's policy that Clinton signed in with the deregulation of Glass-Steagall. I mean, if Glass-Steagall hadn't been repealed, what caused the crash in 2008 could not have happened. It would have been impossible. So, but Clinton really was just continuing Reagan-era policies anyway. And it was also a Reagan Congress. It was, what's his name? Newt Gingrich was running Congress at the time, so... I was about to say, if you look at the life in the grand scheme, you old people really aren't that old. Thank you, Ghostly. I need that. I literally need that. I need to not feel like I'm an old man. I definitely need to feel that, because I definitely am feeling I feel old sometimes, so. But yes, in the grand scheme of things, we are not that old. You know who we should all blame for our problems? Nixon. Nixon's part of it. Nixon's a really compelling figure, though. He's complicated. I don't know. I have thoughts about Nixon. Nixon obviously was a tyrant, a deeply racist lunatic and stuff like that. But there were some weird things like Nixon was like on board with. That's kind of wild. If you think about, like, Nixon was on board with a universal basic income, which is insane. I mean, it shows you the difference of the time. But he was like, that's insane. And then, like, him opening the doors to China was a big thing, which is very, very anti, particularly because Nixon was, like, the anti-communist guy. To open the doors with China was a big thing. But Nixon's interesting. But, of course, Nixon's also responsible for what they call the Southern Strategy, which was all the racist, alienated Democrats... all the racist, alienated Democrats that they picked up into the Republican Party by turning the South into a Republican bloc. And that was all done under Nixon because of what happened with Lyndon B. Johnson. Because the Democrats did not like when Lyndon B. Johnson passed the Civil Rights Act. You've got a lot of life in you, Wildlight. You have a bright future, and I look forward to seeing your movies. Thank you, Ghostly. Thank you. All right, I have talked and babbled too much. My God. All right, we're going to do one more sprint. I'm going to try to finish this, but feel free to get the words done, and we will see you all on the other side. I really want to see the River Babies movie. Something might be around the corner. I might have some plans for that, Ghostly. There might be some surprises around the corner. It is a weird sentence, but that I do refer to them as River Babies. All right. Happy writing, everybody. We will see you on the other side. Yeah, that's true. That's very true, Cryptid. Yeah. I literally know nothing about... Oh, Teddy. Teddy's also a fun figure. Teddy's just a fun person to read about. I mean, he's kind of an asshat, but he's a fun figure to read about. Alright. Let's see. Where am I at? Brush of the way leg stands. Okay, so 2-shot, standing, you know. Close-up profile. I love weird senses. Then this is the community for you, Stephanie, because apparently I say a bunch of out of context weird sentences, and everybody here says weird stuff. So think you're in the right place. Oh, Vice is good. My biggest my biggest if I wanted to be like watch any single piece of like media that is absolutely political, it would be The Wire. Watch The Wire. The Wire is everything you need to know about everything. And you're back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And back in. We're doing our last sprint. So welcome in. If you've got words to get done, get it done. He loves toxic relationships. God, I'm trying to focus on your script, Ghost, so you can't start dropping bombs like that. Can't start dropping things like that, all right? I'm gonna get called. I'm gonna start getting noted. Everyone's gonna know me around Twitch as, yeah, that one writer guy who loves toxic relationships. And also wants more crime in his life, or whatever it was that I said. One toxic relationship at a time here. Just one. That's all we got time for. I say weird things all day and my accent randomly changes. Yeah, mine does too. That's the DM in me. The DM in me does the voices. We're working. We're working. Ghostly. Alright. Turns out Memorial Day means no Bible study tonight, so I detoured my grandpa's grave. Oh, nice. Well, I hope the cemetery's nice. And back home to work. Well, that's good. It's like kind of got a free day, which is fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be a close-up profile of Luce. That's right. Okay. I remember what I'm doing now. I need to remember visually what the hell I'm even doing. Okay. I have a cemetery in my backyard. I love it. It's very quiet. Even the Lord takes Memorial Day off, not me though. Yeah. You know, come on. You need breaks. You need, Divine Almighty. You gotta have a break. Come on, matches. This is ridiculous. You have no right to kill my boyfriend. It's my life. I can make my own choices. Okay. Let's do this. So he leaves it behind, but he also... Peanut butter jar leans forward, resting arm, loses his knee. So now I have to be like, where does Matches put the peanut butter? He already stood up. So he sighs, brushes leg away, and stands. We do not want him to do that, and drop peanut butter. So that's too many things to do. So I might need him to carry the peanut butter back to the fridge. Might have to have him carry it back. Does it come back? It might come back. If it comes back, then we have to change. Oh, okay. So he leaves it at her side. Okay. So we need to give a point where he sets it down. Okay. So we're gonna go back and find a point where he can actually put it down. When I was a kid, I lived near a cemetery. Oh wait, since it's right next door to the old high school, the kids always put flags at each grave for vet. Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet. Yeah, that's very kind of them, indeed. When I was a kid, I lived near a cemetery. I used to steal the flowers and bring them back to my mom because I thought they were for everyone. Oh, Liz, that's amazing. That's for the win. That is 100% for the win right there. I love that. Amazing. Amazing. Oh my god, that's fantastic. My mom didn't realize where I got the flowers, so I brought back a big heart-shaped arrangement. I love it. That's amazing. That's a great, like, I'm just imagining someone seeing a kid stealing flowers from gravestones, just like, just happy-go-lucky, just grabbing them. I don't know. That's really funny. I did the opposite when I lived in a small town to the west. I would take mom's flowers and put them on. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. I like this reverse. It's like, it's just, like, none of it's bad. It's just kind of like seeing how kids can do two separate things. It's interesting. That was the end of my rampage. She did not like it. She did not like it. This did not stop me. Yeah. Well, I think it's sweet. Your mom could, they could deal with it. All right. So what he's gonna do is he's gonna put this. So he's going to stab the peanut butter jar and set it down next to loose. Okay. So he's gonna peanut butter jar down, set it down next to loose. Okay. Oh, they were daylilies. Oh, that's beautiful. And they bloom every year. Yeah, daylilies are pretty. Ghostly always goes out and talks to them. Ghostly doesn't believe anyone listening, ironically, but I find it peaceful. I don't think there's I do that. I talk to non-existent people all the time. That's what happens when you live by yourself with cats. You're either talking to cats or nobody. Or I do go on walks and mutter to myself. I'm sure everyone thinks I'm insane, to be honest with you, but I also live in LA, so that's not totally that's not totally weird. Just see people talking to themselves. A lot of us out here do that. It's fine. She's a horrible person. She just wanted her yard to look. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yep, the boomer life. Yeah. Luckily, I lucked out where I didn't have very normal boomer parents, so for that I count myself lucky. Me too. I love going to the local cemetery for a breather. Yeah, I like it a lot. I mean, I talked to Freddy the Skull in a Pickle Jar. I know you got that from that show, right? Or from that book series that the show is based on? Pretty sure. I mean, I think you absolutely should. I mean, I think every good person, every good writer should have a skull of some kind. If you don't have a skull, that's why I know I said don't take any hard rules because they're mostly, BS, but this is the hard rule. You got to have a skull. Some kind of skull. All good writers have skulls that they talk to. Cryptic quote it. I talk to this house. Yeah, I do. I talk to the house a lot too. I do a lot of house talking. Just in case anything is left, I have to go down to tend to it. Yeah, that's why I've always said if I ever lived in a haunted house, I'm clearly having a conversation with the ghost all the time. That happened to the old house I lived in Fort Collins. Dude, Twilight, your parents are kind of sick from what you said. They're interesting. Yeah, they're interesting. They have their faults, but I do love them dearly. They are interesting folk. Weird. They're weird. Yeah, the apple did not fall far from the tree. As much as my parents would sometimes like to admit that we did, and they don't understand why my brother and I are the way we are, we're just like them because they were insane people. Yep. As you do, Ghostly. Good. My primer partner buys me pretty jars for your dead things. Bless her. Yeah, that's good. There you go. Hi, princess. I know. We're almost done. Once I'm done, you'll get food. Okay, so the jar is going to get set down next to Loose back here. Because I know we need to come back to it. Alright, so then we go... Okay, so close-up profile Loose. Oh, shit. I forgot the ads. I'm sorry, everybody. If you got hit by ads, my bad. forgetting about the damn ads. Now the question is, do I want to leave? We've been tied to this area. Do I want to leave? Do we want to leave and go to... Okay, from the... Actually, you know what? So this is going to be from medium walking into wide. From the chair. Lucy's perspective. Tilt. So medium walking wide. Tilt down. So he's going to walk away towards the fridge. You choose to follow me around like a lost puppy for 6 months. Now you got to deal with the fact that I'm not going to let some punk rough you up. Insert. Close up. Foot tap. Foot tapping. So in this shot, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus completely on matches here. The camera's gonna be not an actual point of view of Luce, but a perspective shot of Luce. So essentially, we're gonna be kind of where the chair is. So lower, probably like waist high. He's gonna walk back away, go to the fridge, and he's gonna be talking. We're gonna hear Luce from the background, and we're gonna do an insert shot of her foot tapping, and that's going to give us a little bit of a beat that we can pace to the scene, and we'll be able to pace the dialogue to that a little bit. Okay, so this... Oh, and the pounce, and then grinds the cockroach. So we can... I mean, that's going to be a hard... That's like a... That's too much. That's going to be too difficult to have, like, an actual cockroach crawl under and grind. Not without, like, CGI. which I don't... That's getting too big right there. So we don't want to do that, but... I do like the idea of having a cockroach, though, because that adds to kind of the filth, and the vibes that we're going for with, like, it being filthy and dirty. It's a good idea. Yeah, I was thinking, a piece of broken glass. Yeah, just like, I'm trying to think of like a piece of junk glass. I'll just, for here, I'll put something underfoot. Glass. Empty soda, beer can. I appreciate that Matches is eating peanut butter when he has pizza, like there's no food but gremlin behavior. Yeah. It's definitely weird behavior. Yeah, okay, so soda beer can. I feel like the place is... Yeah, it's supposed to be trashed. It's supposed to be... It's supposed to, but you like I'm trying to think. You don't want it like trashed, like hoarder trashed, but like it's been ransacked trash. So like, this is like a little bit of visual world building. Like who lived here first, like, and what happened to them, and what's left. He could drop his cigarettes, and she could put it out, maybe? Yeah, he's not smoking in here, though. Remember that. He's not smoking in this. He smokes out... In the original... In the way you had it written originally, he was outside smoking. And he tosses his cigarette after when he's, like, gets up before he comes in through the window. We don't want him... We probably don't want him smoking. That's a practical thing. For now. I just generally don't want to... Smoking interiors is a problem. Well, it's not a problem. It's just it adds a certain level of complexity. Wow, yeah, I'm not tracking. No idea what's happening. No, you're fine, Ghost. Like, keep throwing out throwing out ideas is good. The cigarette idea would be really good. That's what I'm giving you right there is a practical thing. That smoking is kind of hard to do right now on interiors. Like, if we get a soundstage, if I shoot this on a soundstage, I'm not going to be able to have them even smoke. Like, I can't light up fake cigarettes. Most houses won't let you do it anymore. You have to do it digitally. You have to CGI the smoke and the burning cigarette tip. So we'll think. There should be something there. That's the most expensive cigarette. Yeah, well, you're technically not allowed to have people smoke anymore. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Already dead cockroach. Yeah, maybe. It could just be. We'll just see it. So close-up insert shot. Getting mashed. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Ghostly. That might work better because it's easy to just get a fake cockroach, and then just do the crushing sound in sound design, and then all we do is just pause the shot, remove the rubber cockroach, and then put like black powder in there so it looks like it just mashed it. Yeah, you can do that with trickery. You can fake it. I'm letting myself reread my favorite Easter egg and then closing this manuscript. Oh God, what is this? There you go. There you go. I mean, I've done that. I've immediately reread it after I finished it, or like a little tidbit. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Let yourself do it. Just be sure that you walk away from it to like let it be closed for at least a little while. So the fridge door is going to be the same master shot here. This medium tracking wide. This medium walking wide shot. That'll be from back here. But the loose pouts, let's do... Actually, you know what? Let's add a new angle here. Close up, 3/4. 3/4 eyeline shot. Shit. Eyeline shit. No, eyeline shot. Okay. So what we'll do is that'll give us a good expression of her eyes as she's crushing the cockroach, and we'll really be able to get that annoyance, and the actor can perform that with the eyes, and because they're gonna be in clown makeup, that gives us a nice little. We can have her kind of glare, look from the cockroach to Matches, and then off her look, then that'll motivate the cut to Matches at the door slam, or the sound of the fridge door slamming to motivate the cut back to our medium wide sort of perspective. Okay. All right, and then so as he walks back, he's going to be walking back into a close-up. We'll go back to a profile dolly shot, and we'll go from medium to a medium close-up. We don't need to be too dramatic. And so essentially what we're doing is he's going to walk back. We're going to cut to a profile shot as he jams the pizza into her mouth. We're going to then do a dolly in. It's not going to be like a fast dolly or anything like super dramatic, but it's going to give us a nice little push in into like a medium close-up between the two of them as he's like shoving pizza in her mouth. So give us a nice little, accentuate the action a little bit. Jams the pizza in the mouth. Will you drop it already? He's gonna die. You're gonna pout for a few days, then you're gonna get someone else and forget all about what's his face. Nice, yeah, I like that. Yeah. It's either a tilt down or you just do an insert cut. You let it fall out of frame and then do an insert cut of it hitting in her lap. You can try it. You can try to do the tilt down. That can cause blocking issues, but yes, that could be. But I do kind of like the tilting down. Tilting down would be kind of fun. Okay, I have a really weird idea. All right, I have a really weird idea here. Okay. This is intense. This might be visually too much, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. Okay. So Lucy's going to bite off the end of the pizza like a brick in her lap, and then the camera's going to tilt down. So it's the same shot. So dolly in, tilt down to lap with motion. So as it tilts down to the lap, we're going to end with it just sitting on her lap. Like kind of like greasy and like, you know, like staining and all that kind of stuff. And then what we're going to do is cut. This is weird. This is really, I don't, it might not be appropriate to accentuate the scene this way. Then we're going to cut to a close-up direct eye line shot. So close-up, their face takes up the frame and they're looking right into the lens. What they call spiking the lens. And she's just going to look up and she's going to have like the pizza hanging from her mouth and all greasy, and she can just kind of like slurp it in and then say her line, "Do I have a hand to eat?" And then we cut to the reverse shot of Matches, eye line, spiking the lens close up, where he then pulls the knife and licks the peanut butter. Yeah, it's weird. I'm really accentuating just how weird this is, because it's kind of like a power play between the two of them, so I want to like, and that's going to put us right in the middle of the scene. It's going to make it, I mean, we're going to feel fundamentally intimate with it at that point. That's, yeah, that might, yeah, that's real gross accurate. Yep. I think that might be the way it's going to go. All right. I get this from Bergman a lot, but I really like Bergman and Ozu, but this is a weird thing as me as a filmmaker. It can make audiences uncomfortable, but I actually like when people spike the frame. Once it's intentional, obviously you don't want people glancing at the lens, you know, it takes you out of it, but I do really like, there's something deeply There's something I really enjoy about people being able to look into the lens. And Ozu used to do it in normal filmmaking. Like, it wasn't even, like, accentuated, expressionistic the way that Bergman did. It was just, that's how he shot conversations, was they're looking into the lens, and then he shot the other person looking into the lens. And it's awkward at first, and then it, like, really lures you into the scene. Like, you feel intimately tied to these characters. It's a very subtle, interesting visual way to just put, because all he did was domestic dramas, like very simple domestic films, and it really like puts you in the emotional mind of the character, in a very effortless, simple way without having to get too fancy. I find it funny that as a germaphobe, easily squeamish, I wrote this. I don't be shocked by that, because like, you would not be the first person who does that at all. I definitely write things that I find like horrifying or that I personally find abhorrent. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like it's a way of working through it. It's like a way of like expressing it in a way that like it's a way for you to explore it, but you have control over it in a kind of strange way, or it's a way for you to explore it, or explore that kind of life outside of yourself in a way that's safe, that you still have control over, but it allows you to kind of act out in a way. You get to act it out without actually having to expose yourself to the anxiety or the phobia itself. Exposure therapy light mode, yeah. Yeah. Close-up insert. So that'll just be the hands tied behind, close-up shot of the butter knife then cutting the zip tie, which that might be an interesting thing to have to do on the day. On the actual set day, that's going to be interesting. You're probably going to have to pre-cut the zip tie to even make that work. Although the idea of it just like lingering on a shot of like trying to use a butter knife to cut a zip tie is kind of funny. We'll see how long that can play and still be funny, or at least interesting. Because yeah, that sounds like a horrifying. I might cringe, but that's kind of the point. Yeah, I mean, the way it's written, it's designed for a bit of a cringe. I imagine he uses a switchblade. Well, in this, oh, I got it. Okay. Oh, see, interesting. Because see, I have I thought. Oh, I thought it was a butter knife. Okay, so he was using a switchblade for the peanut butter. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that tracks. For a second, I thought it was always with the peanut butter. All right. Yep. I got it. I follow what you mean. Yep. He's edgy like that. All right. Well, that is the end of the sprint. We're about halfway. Although the rest of this, I think I kind of know how we're going to do it, so. All right. That is the end of that sprint, everybody. And unfortunately, I do have to go, so I will not be able to finish. But we'll do this on Thursday. We'll wrap this up on Thursday and then start the actual like storyboarding process, where I'll start actually like breaking down the script. I'll show you how kind of what I do when I build like a shot list, and how it like the ins and the outs and all that kind of stuff, and how it's all broken down. So that'll be Thursday. Streams will be Thursday, Friday. No streams Tuesday or Wednesday, as I'm going to be working the insane schedule this week as well. So, thanks, Glenn. Very good. I'm glad you're excited. But for everybody else out there, I hope you got some words done, and that it was a productive time for you all. And what we got here? Oh, Oracle's on. Okay. Good work, everyone. Yes, good work. And Cryptid, congrats. Big congrats. I don't want to forget that before we all go. Major congrats to finishing Witch Punks and getting that done. That is huge. Years and years and years of work. So very much congratulations on that. For everybody else out there, I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Yeah, please rest up. I know it can be rough out there, so try to get some rest and be kind to yourselves first and foremost, and then be kind to others. So we're gonna go ahead, and for those of everybody who wants to go work, Oracle of Dusk is working, so hopefully you all can keep getting your words. And we couldn't do it without you, Cryptid. So thank you. Love you all, and we'll see you next time.